South Cooperative Innovation Program, and I'll be facilitating this session as the chair of the Technical Advisory Group. Hopefully I'm still the chair, so Adi is the one who would confirm that. On that note, I think as per the program, we can start with the opening prayer, and a volunteer can lead us through, please. Ratakadu, you can lead us.
Shall we pray? Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this meeting, O Lord God. We pray that even as we deliberate on issues that affect your people, O God, you may guide us, Lord, into understanding, Lord, and wisdom and way forward. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ratakadu, the next item is the introductions. I've already introduced myself. I'll maybe request Abby to introduce our guest, and then others can quickly introduce themselves.
Thank you, my vessel, our chair. Emma. I'll start off by introducing Remo Khotsi, who's the Acting Director for the Department of National Museum and Monuments. Remo Khotsi, he will also be given the opening remarks for this session. And then we also have Mama Tale representing the Acting Director for Department of Environmental Affairs. She will also be given the closing remarks. She's also part of our NSC group for the SGP. And then for me, I am Abigail Lillian Engleton, the National Coordinator for the Small Grants Program. I am here with my colleagues, Lebogang Taloso from UNDP as our communication specialist, and also Victor Bozlaf as our IT specialist. Thank you. And then I'm here also with our NSC and TEG members. I think let me give them an opportunity to at least say hello to us and then introduce themselves. Thank you, our chair.
Thank you, Abby. Can we have other members introduce themselves? We can go ahead and start the introductions.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Lekatlanyi Canelo. I'm a TEG member, and I'm from the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you.
Okay, next.
Dumelang Betso. Ke bitswa Dumelang Betso. Ke bitswa Mogomotse Motlogalo. Ke tswa ko Ngwapina gare ko Motšhodi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Randall Thilen from Kalahari Conservation Society.
Thank you.
Good morning. Morning. I don't know if I'm audible that side.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. Lewani Sekhele Stalokosi from Adile Theatre Production House, based in Palape.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. This is Kefen Somogara from BidLife Botswana. Thank you.
Thanks, Ramogara.
Dumelang Botsadi. Nna ke Ramasimo Ntirela, BidLife Botswana.
Thank you.
Good morning, Botsadi. It's Kibiswa Kehanekele Matsamai from an association called Gumara Advisory Association in the northwest of this country.
Okay.
Good morning. Kilidwa Unetsun Daddy from the University of Botswana Business Clinic.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is
morning.
Khalawe Mathajo from Sosa.
Okay, go ahead, Ramutaj.
My name is Khalawe Mathajo from Sosa.
Okay.
Dumelang batho betso. Olekai Takadu from Okavango Research Institute. May I also send the apology for Professor Mbayua. He's currently in another Zoom meeting, but he said he will join immediately he's through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm Ismail Zibani from the University of Botswana, Faculty of Engineering. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we all done?
Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning.
Emma.
I'm Jacqueline Sumako. I'm a research consultant.
Thank you.
Ke Paul Mzumi, Tech Zodlo World Heritage Site Manager.
Good morning. I'm Captain Komuto Patsima, Dare to Dream.
Thank you.
Good morning. Batsabelo to see it's Acting Director, Department of Environmental Affairs. I'll be in and out.
Thank you.
Jumela. My name is Siogasima Siku, Director of Ngamiland Council of NGOs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Dinao Habarek, ABS Passionist.
Thank you.
Good morning. Polemba Patona Environmental Heritage Foundation of Botswana Trust.
Erra.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Hekibirite, the coordinator of Hands for Botswana.
Emma, thank you. Do Koteng. Thank you. If we've all introduced ourselves, those who come on board as we continue, we'll find a way to allow them to introduce themselves if we still have time. On this note,
Jumela, my name is Kigabile Mohodu, the Executive Director of Botswana Creative Council.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Morning.
Emma.
Kiwinani Tebele, National Museum.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Introducing Botsadi so that we move forward.
Good morning. I'm just here on my own capacity as an environmental policy and governance specialist. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if we have all introduced ourselves, I think we move to another item on the agenda. Let me call upon Mr. Stephen Mohotsi from Department of National Museum and Monuments as the director to give us opening remarks. Over to you, Ramohotsi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, colleagues. I guess, I've already been introduced as Stephen Mohotsi here. the National Museum and Monuments. Mine is just to say a few remarks, for this session of today. The Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program, GEF SGP, is a corporate program implemented by UNDP on behalf of other partners. The GEF Small Grants Program was established in 1992 following the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, as is currently implemented in 127 countries worldwide. In Botswana, the program has supported about 190 projects with varying successes at a tune of $5.1 million. The GEF SGP focus on community action with global impact demonstrates and empowers local communities as custodians of natural resources at grassroots level. Through the technical and financial support provided by the program, the local communities have developed and led initiatives that have significantly contributed to the restoration and conservation of the natural environments, as well as enhanced people's well-being and livelihoods, particularly in the rural areas. The program supports government priorities in environmental conservation, as well as driving the sustainable development agenda through community-led projects. Furthermore, the program does not support individuals and companies or private entities. Only the non-profit-oriented organizations and research institutions are eligible. Today, we are here participating at this information session held virtual due to the challenges brought by COVID-19 pandemic. This initiative, ladies and gentlemen, is implemented by government through the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources, Conservation and Tourism, through the Department of Environmental Affairs and the Department of National Museum and Monuments. Of course, in partnership with the United Nations Development Program through the GEF Small Grants Program. The session is aimed at sensitizing the participants about the ongoing call for proposals for the South-South Innovation Program. This strategic project is implemented in partnership with Namibia and South Africa and has been selected as the lead, and Botswana has been selected as the lead country for this project. The overall goal of this project is empowering the San communities as the first people of Southern Africa to sustainably manage the environment and enhance their livelihoods and well-being. The proposed project site for this project is Xere Village in the Buteti sub-district of Botswana. And it is funded at a tune of about $150,000. This project complements the already ongoing government and SGP support rendered to the Xere community through a project aimed at establishing a cultural village that will preserve the heritage and culture of the San communities. Through this session, Madam Facilitator, the participants will be sensitized about the GEF support as well as the ongoing call for proposals. To the potential grantees, effectively utilize this call for proposals package provided. I encourage you all, the potential grantees, to develop proposals that will be inclusive, innovative, and impactful, and with great potential to be replicated and upscaled by the government and other partners. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ramokgotsi. Ra leboga gore o botsile o na le rona mo mosong wa gompieno gore ha opening remarks. On that note, I'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is to provide an overview of the call for proposals on the South-South Innovative Program by Mayor Abigail Angleton. To you, Abigail.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Lepethu. Thank you so much to our director. I won't even try to spoil what you just said to us. I'll just go straight to the ongoing call for proposal, which is on the South-South Cooperation Innovative Program. This has been ongoing for the past 2 weeks, and this will be closing on the 29th of this month, which is next week, Monday. And we planning for this to be awarded by mid-April so that the project can start running before the mid of this year, before June this year. As a way of introduction, maybe for one, people have been sending inquiries through the inquiries email to try and understand what is the project all about. I think maybe what is a little bit confusing at this juncture is some of us are meeting this concept for the very first time on South-South cooperation. And this is a concept that is a broad framework that has been used in the UN for the past so many years. We are looking into sharing knowledge amongst the developing countries, South-South. And then there's another framework which speaks to the North-South, which is where we are sharing knowledge between the developed countries and the developing countries. So in our case today, we are talking about or discussing a project where we are sharing knowledge amongst developing countries, specifically in the SADC region. The UN defines the South-South cooperation as a process whereby 2 or more developing countries pursue their individual or shared national capacity development objectives to share knowledge, skills, resources, and technical know-how, and collectively address issues of concern. In our case, we are implementing this project in partnership with South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. And maybe one would want to understand why the SAN communities, why are we looking in learning and implementing this joint sub-regional project at this juncture? For us, this is a more relevant at this moment because the SAN community is one of the vulnerable groups that we are supporting at the Small Grants Program, together with the women, the youth, people with disability. So for this call for proposal, we selected only the SAN communities. And we are specifically focusing on the SAN communities in the Xere region. And for us, the SAN comprising about, as according to the 2017 Botswana population census, about 3% of the total population. However, when you look at the issues that they're faced with, even now, they're still impoverished, they're still marginalized. So we wanted through this project for us to try and learn from the other countries who have made strengths in terms of empowering the SAN community. So in this case, we are learning from our counterparts through the SDP South Africa, because already there they have made great milestones to an extent that they have already established, together with other partners, they've been able to establish a SAN center. It's called Kwatu. Ramokgotsi is here to correct me if I'm getting it wrong, which is a center where they have managed to preserve their SAN heritage. It's more of a regional one. So through this project, we want to be replicating it in our own scenario in Botswana. We host the majority of the SAN community in the southern in the world. Let me say, we do have SAN communities in Namibia. We do have some a major community of the SAN in South Africa, in Angola, in Lesotho. But for this project, we only be focusing in exchanging knowledge for only these 3 countries. So we believe the partnerships and the financing that we are bringing, partnering with the civil society organizations, the academic, and also the research institutions, together we will be able to attain sustainable development through this project. The South-South Cooperation is part of what we call the Grant Maker Plus role as the SDP. We provide the technical know-how, we provide the grants, which is the mandate or the role that we do on a day-to-day basis. However, now we wanted to go a step further through our Grant Maker Plus role to now provide a platform where the same communities will be able to share knowledge cross-country with the South African counterparts and also the this project, it aims to promote knowledge exchange between the SGP countries to encourage cross-country or region replication of good practices. For us, we're going to learn from South Africa. We're also going to learn from Namibia. And they're also going to be learning from how the efforts that we've been doing through the government and also through the other partners. And then through this project, we want to be able to create a high impact and also bring up innovation through this project so that we are able to scale up some of the initiatives that we would have implemented through this project. For one, in Botswana now, we don't have a cultural village that is operational, that is a success. Through this project, we want to establish a model cultural village that can be replicated in the different areas of Botswana. In the northern east, in the northeast district, we'll be having one in the Chobe, because everywhere you go in the country, the communities nowadays, they want to know how do we preserve the culture so that the generation will be able to learn from this. As Botswana and Namibia and South Africa, we answered a call that was made at the local level. In addition to the core resources that were allocated for us to implement our operational phase 6, which ran from 2015 to 2019, there was an opportunity for funding. And through this opportunity, we had to submit a concept note. So we came together as the three countries, the national coordinator from South Africa, myself, and also from Namibia. And we realized, okay, in our case, what is something that we think is a core issue at this juncture? And for all of us, the one thing that was common that we wanted to at least showcase, and we unique way, because we know people will be thinking of, okay, how replicating agroecological practices, replicating waste management technologies. We wanted something that nobody would even think of at that juncture, because this was more of a competition amongst the 127 countries. And out of the 10 countries that were selected to implement this project, we were amongst those that were selected. This project is implemented by the three countries, like I have said. Botswana was selected as the lead country, which is why we are here today. For us, the entity that will be selected following this call for proposal will be the one that will be lead in the implementation of the project, liaising with the counterparts or the selected entities in Namibia, and also now liaising with Kwatung Center in South Africa. The project will run for a period of 2 years. The total budget for a project, this is a strategic project, like Remokotsi has said, which is at a tune of $150,000 US, but this 150,000 is shared among the countries. Expected to mobilize more resources to ensure that we implement an impactful and also a successful project at the end of the 2 years. For Botswana country program, we've been allocated a total of $65,000 US as a seed fund for this project, and this is already the 500,000 or the $50,000 US project that we are currently implementing in the government and the Xero community in the Butiti sub-district. The site for this project is for the Xero community only. Nowhere any other place in the country we can implement this project. For now, we will be demonstrating and piloting this project only in the Xero area. The project will be aimed at empowering the community as the first people of Southern Africa to sustainably manage their environment and enhance their livelihoods and well-being. This is where the empowerment will be coming through, will be visualized and realized through this project. This project is relevant both at the national and also at the global level. At the national, we are also contributing to attainment of prosperity for all, which is through the Vision 2036 pillars and also to NDP 11. And then at the global level, we are also building, contributing to building back together, better together, which is what the UNSG has been really echoing through how do we recover from this pandemic as the global community. So this is the project, because the same community as already vulnerable communities, they have been hard hit by the pandemic. So with this project, we are seeing quick wins. We are seeing triple wins through this project, and we'll be able to contribute and enhance building back better together for the same community particularly. And then we'll be also contributing to a number of SDGs, notably goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 10, goal number 13, goal number 15, and goal number 17. Okay. For this project, it's a bit different from what we usually have as our call for proposal, where the entities like yourselves who are participating here, I've been listening very attentively to who is attending here, who's participating. I've heard we have the CSOs, we have the academia. Usually it's an open call where people propose the activities. However, for this one, the activities are already outlined. So it's a more of an easier call because part of the job has already been done for yourselves. The planned activities will be implemented in 3 phases. The first one will be more of a mobilization stage. We first need to start by undertaking consultations, especially at the local level with the community themselves, with the TAC who are spearheading the implementation of this project already at the local level. And then because of COVID, we need to be able to ensure that the project is implemented, and already now we are already adopting ICT. We are hosting virtual meetings. So this is what we want to be able to see. Even though there is COVID, we need to ensure that we organize those sub-regional CSO government dialogues where we bring these communities, the same community in South Africa, the same communities and other partners in Namibia and also in Botswana to dialogue about issues that are pertinent to them. And then for us to be able to ensure that we build the capacity through this project, we'll be having participants or representatives from Botswana and Namibia going for a 6 months training course, 6 to 12 months training course in KwaXung Cultural and Education Center, and this will be funded for by the project. And then we are going to also be able, one of the activities that we are going to undertake is that with the vast indigenous knowledge that the community already have, we want to be able to see how we document that. And then the second phase will then move into research and development of products. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to have at least 2 products that are developed in that area using the natural resources that they have in that area. And then we want to be able to set up a heritage center, the Cultural Heritage Center, at the already allocated cultural village plot site, which is already ongoing at this juncture. And then the other one will be to support these communities now to implement these projects so that they are able to improve their livelihoods. And then the last phase will be having to monitor this project ourselves, the entity that will be selected to implement the project, as well as the communities themselves, and then to also enhance visibility so that we are able to inform other initiatives in the 3 countries and also particularly in our country to say, in establishing a cultural village, these are some of the things that one needs to bear in mind. These are some of the things that one needs to do for you to be able to implement a successful one. And then lastly, we need to be ensuring that we maintain those good relations between ourselves as the office and also the implementing agent. These are the expected outputs. These are all outlined already in the terms of references which are provided on the procurement website. I will share the link at the end of this meeting where you can download all these. Expected outputs, at least 2 CSOs dialogues are hosted virtually, because we know all the countries we are hard hit, and already that talks that we're going to have the 3rd wave. So we want to ensure that everybody is safe while we're still implementing the project. Training manuals developed for the training of the in order to empower these communities. The exchange visit for the 2 countries between South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia, and out of that, 5 participants from Botswana and 5 participants from Namibia sent to KwaXung Cultural Center to be trained through this 6 to 12 months training course. And then we want to be able to have a bicultural community protocol developed for the same community. This will be done also by the Namibian counterparts who will be doing the project components on their end. Products developed 2 at least, and then 1 community cultural center established at the already allocated plot that we have, and then report in terms of accounting for the resources that have been utilized, and then the knowledge products should be developed through this project. I think in conclusion, we are calling out to you to say, thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail, for such clear presentations. I think at this juncture, we can allow participants, as per the program, to give comments or questions. There is a hand where you raise your hand on the menu so that we are able to coordinate this. So at this point, I'll open the floor for members to Hokwame Abigail Dikaba. You can just raise your hand and then we'll know who has to speak. Ke bona Joseph Mbayu a setse a raisitse lebogo, though I don't know if he has joined.
Emma, ke ne ke re ke kope maitshwaro ke tsile late ne ke santse ke mo meeting o mongwe.
Okay.
I'm just-
Thank you. Ratakadu did allude or apologize. You'll join us later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any hands up?
Malapi, today is the wildlife and economic planning. Maybe there can be an opportunity. Yes, and then Ramahotu. Yeah.
They can go ahead. Honali KM. Or Honali Unezin Daddy. Hakize Ramogoti want to start first?
Ne re go re simolle ka kwano re lo rena re kopa maitshwaro o ne ntse re joina hela yana re ntse re na le mathata a network ka kwano.
Okay. Ra leboga. You can lower the hand, wildlife. Okay, I think those who have raised their hands, I don't know, Abi Unore Ramogoti Akhelepile.
It's Mr. Mohodu, then Unnesen.
Rek Abile Mohodu, you can start, then Honale Unne. Yeah, there's another. So you can start, Ramohodu.
Thank you so much for inviting Botswana Queen Council, and thank you so much, Mayor Abigail, for that intensive presentation. My question would be to find out during the rollout of the project how San-based communities and the San people, particularly in Botswana and Kere, are going to be identified to participate. The second one would be looking at the objective of which the project wants to achieve. It looks like it is contradistinction to the philosophy and the laws governing the country that says we are all Botswana, and some languages are not recognized, some people are not recognized, some chiefs are not recognized. Only the 8 Tswana-speaking tribes are recognized in Botswana. So I want to find out how, as we develop cultural villages that entails and accept other people's languages, how are we going to shape that in connection with the policies that are available in the country? How far is this project going to impact and see to it that the policies within the country that kind of not goes well or in tandem with what we are proposing right now are going to be affected, and how are we going to work with the relevant to ensure that at least there is harmonization of policies and laws with what we are trying to do today, because it will be unfair to have a cultural village whereby the language only is spoken in Kare it can be documented, yes, but it cannot be taught in their school and it cannot be spoken in their school. So I think this is the issue that from us, Botswana Quitting Council and the intern communities in Botswana, South Africa, and Namibia are concerned about, and that is what we want clarification to that effect. So for now, let me just pose those two questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramogodu. I think, Abigail, you can note them. Let's have another person who have a question. Maybe those who have, Ramogodu, you can lower your hand so that ke bone ba ba tsholeditseng. O ka busa lebogo. Okay. There was another hand before. Ha ke itse gore ke mme.
I think it's me.
Emma.
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 Thank you for the opportunity and thank you for the great presentation that we just saw. Mine is not a question per se, but a commentary to the participants to say, as UB Business Clinic, we do entrepreneurship development programming. My belief is for this type of project, we will not necessarily be in a position to respond to a whole call in terms of helping with setting up a cultural center or something like that. However, we are in a position to partner and collaborate with anyone who is willing to take up that call and come in from the entrepreneurship empowerment aspect of things. So whoever is taking lead in doing the technical aspect of cultural village setting up and all, they may actually link up with us and we collaborate with them. We are available. I think that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Mendadi. I think these are some of the issues that sometimes we do forget, that even though a call may have been put forward by one entity, there are others who are out there who provide a service and can be able to assist whoever has been awarded the call. I think the same thing could apply to Buang here, because I see a gap that yes, we do have the aspect of harvesting, processing, and documenting the management of natural resources. I wish one of the things that sometimes we also look at in the value chain is now to say, since we have identified these resources now, they are likely to go extinct. Do we have a component where now we can say, how do we now domesticate or plant those natural resources? I don't see that coming up in the proposal. It's okay, but I think other players then can come on board and assist where those identified resources now, they can now take another extra step and propagate those. Go di jwala kana go make sure gore go na le ditselana tse di ka jwalwang ka teng gore the business aspect e tswelele, sustainability. Thank you. That was just a comment also adding to your Mendadi, as Buang can play that role. We don't want to just see the business aspect, because I want sustainable when the resource now is now commercialized and then hela go eleng gore e teng. Mendadi.
Just to add on, I'm thinking maybe for this particular meeting, after the meeting, the different attendants here are going to submit the call the responses to the call, bali independent. So in the chat box of this particular meeting, our contact details, our names and contact details and organizations, so that those who can identify areas of collaboration, who can I reach out to? Business Clinic UB. I think for strengthening of our proposal, we want to work with them. Let me approach them. Things like that. Because from here, I think Rahologa out and nobody will be knowing who is where and who is who.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mandadi. I believe, Abigail, you are noting those comments and also questions, and also you are going to respond and guide us on some of these issues. Any other questions, or maybe Abigail can respond, then we take other set of comments and questions.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, colleagues, for your contributions. Maybe starting off with, I think, Rembaiwa and Wildlife and Economic Planning. Nele, just apologies, we've noted those for the join late. And then for that, we'll be sharing the presentations from this meeting. I hope all of us, we have registered for the meeting, providing your email so that we are able to share all the materials from this meeting for your consideration at a later stage. And then starting off with Mr. Mohod. Thank you so much, sir, for making time to participate at this meeting. We really acknowledge your participation, Ramohodu, as the Kwedam Council representative. And then just going straight to your questions, you wanted to know, during the rollout of the project, how are the same based communities, especially they're going to be identified for them to participate in this project. This project, we are not implementing it, Rona, as the small grants program. It's implemented already. There's already an ongoing project spearheaded by the Xero Community Trust, supported by the Technical Advisory Committee, Yabut the DISAB District. I'm not sure whether some of the members at the TAC are here, but I see BirdLife Botswana who are working closely with them through another project that we are funding in that area, capacity development. So in terms of how are we the criteria that we're going to use to select those who will be participating, especially for the exchange, this will be done led by the Trust, lay officer council and the TAC in general, who are the ones who are working closely with them. Rona is to supervise them, to monitor the project and make sure all the standard operating procedures for the project are adhered to in line with the signed MOA. So even in this project, the entity that will be selected, that's why in the first phase, there is need for them to consult with the relevant stakeholders, especially at the district level. We know we are working, for this project, we are working with Department of National Museum and Monuments. There's already a lot of work that has gone through the ongoing project, for one, the documentation and everything else. So they will need to build consensus with the Department of National Museum and Monuments, and I'm happy that Ma Tebele is here, who we've been working closely with through the Sapataha Remohodzi and other colleagues at museum. And then in terms of the issues, you are saying the goal is contradictory to the policy issues in Botswana. I knew this one would come, Remohodu. Rona, as the UN, okay, let me start off. As the UN, we recognize the same community that are indigenous already. And then what we want to be able to see, we know what the government, or in the government legislative framework, there's nothing as indigenous. And through this project, we want to be able to showcase what other, again, we are an international organization, through the CSO government dialogues and all, we want to be able to discuss this with the government, all of us putting our in as the three countries and learning from the other countries. South Africa, it didn't all start as rosy as it is. They started somewhere. Even in our case, we need to start somewhere so that we are able to then, through this project, influence and inform policy reforms, which is what we want to see at the end of the day, Remohod, for us to be able to take pride in our culture, not only as a San community, also the other communities that we have in Botswana, taking pride in that. Now we want to see our own languages. So at least there is some shift. I want to believe there's that paradigm shift already that is going at that level. So through also this project, we want to be able to inform the government to say, this is what can be done, this is also what can be considered going forward. Thank you so much, Onesi. We're looking forward to your contacts. Kindly share your contacts for even other projects that you're already implementing, because in the next 4 years, what we want to see is how do we turn around these projects, because they have greater opportunity for them to be impactful in terms of creating jobs, especially at that rural level. So we want to be able to turn around them, running them as enterprises, not just where communities are passing time or just as a hobby. So we'll be so much looking forward to your contacts, ma'am. Thank you. I think Madam.
Thank you, Abby. Any more questions and comments for round 2? You can show by raising your hand in the menu bar.
Hello, I think my hand is up.
Okay.
Emma.
You can go ahead.
Emma. Thank you, MC. It's Mutsamai from Northwest. Daughter, I think this is a good initiative, but I just wanted to know, because this is a pilot exercise which will start Kako in about 80. I get it because I'm from Northwest. My question is just to know when are we, when is this initiative going to spread to other parts of the country? Maybe or maybe the next call, maybe next year, it will spread in the other parts of the country. Then the second one is related to Yaha Menda. It's about collaboration. I just wanted to know because this one it will be at Tsere village. Is it possible or is it allowed for us to for issues of networking and build relationships? Is it allowed for someone, maybe a local Northwest, to come forth and volunteer and work with those organizations? They will be implementing this project in Tsere village. So these are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramatsamai. We have Rebuling. Buling, your hand is up. You can go ahead.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Okay.
Go
ahead.
Thank you for the floor, Ma'am Malepetu. I'm your former student, Gobuane.
Show me your face. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Emma, I think first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to bring clarity to the project, because a lot of CSOs were confused or what is really going on, what is required. So thank you for the clarity. Again, the trust tota ne ntse re na Abigail wa itse gore ne re ntse re na le issue nyana ya re-registration that is going on ka go high court. So ne ke botsa gore this time around ba ta letella gore at least re ne le mokwalo o tswang ka go court o supang gore on the process of re-registration, kana they still require the certificate of registration.
Okay, if that's the only question, Rebuling. I think Abigail has noted that. Any more questions, comments?
Emma, Malepetu, there is Komoto Patsima. She long raised her hand, and then there is Matebele.
Because I see a big hand where there are a lot of +34, so it doesn't show me who now. Yeah. But you can lower your hands. The 2 of you, I can see your hands are up.
Yeah.
So Abby, you can help me with those who can see their hands are up. Because I see.
Yes.
Patsima, you can go ahead.
Then Matebele.
Emma, thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity. Captain from Dare to Dream. We are based at Botswana Innovation Hub. What we are doing is we are advancing young people and youth, women and girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So one of the things that we've been doing, we've been partnering with Airbus Foundation and teaching young people. I think we've taught around 3,500 young people just around the country. Mobile, robotics, coding, entrepreneurship, financial literacy. So, I think we would be very much interested in impacting the San community. It's one of the communities that I haven't been to, but we've been to Wokang, Bomutokwe, Botakatokwanyan. So, with the implementing partners, because this one I think is too big for us, it's not a Lohoreka plan. They will be able to get such opportunities. Rona, we are available maybe to partner, to collaborate on the science, technology, engineering. We also offer young people the opportunity to fly. I would like, myself, I'm a pilot, I also like to see young people from the San community, Bafla, Nabo, the aeronautical engineer and stuff like that. So we are based at Botswana Innovation Hub, Science and Technology Park. And also I'll leave my contact with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Patsima. The next question, comments. Abi, I think you mentioned someone. I cannot see their hand.
That's Matebele from Department of Education. Emma.
Okay. You can go ahead, Matebele. Kana, maybe you've muted.
Okay. I think Ota Anzalika for Joanna in Hailore, she's having difficulties. Maybe just Madam to respond to the questions that have been posed so far. I think starting off Yaha Re Motamai. Collaboration. This is what we want to be able to see, not only with this project, but other initiatives, because we believe through partnerships, we'll be able to impact our communities even more than what we are doing now, because with the relevant skills that will be brought in, we'll be able to achieve something better. So this is a welcome development. So we'll keep in touch, even if maybe the NTTL in there's no opportunity for you to. I think it's something that we can continually discuss to see, even in your area. Already now that community management of protected areas for conservation, which is more of CBNRM Hela within the World Heritage Site. Through that project, we are supporting communities that panhandle of the Okavango. So we would want to be able to work with people like yourselves to see how do we uplift the livelihoods of those communities and ensure we support them in their conservation efforts for the benefit of our environment and our World Heritage Site being the Okavango Delta. And then in terms of when will we be able to replicate this, I think at this juncture we are allowing ourselves for these 2 years for us to learn through this initiative. However, there will be other calls which are just open for you to apply for similar initiatives like these ones. So if a call, and we are hoping there will be one that will be floated before the end of this year, as per our meeting last week, we're hoping that the next disbursement allocated to us will be in June. So we're hoping before August there will be another call. Just be on the lookout. Follow the UNDP social media platforms on Twitter, on Facebook, and also we have and also now in the government platforms, BW Gov and the Ministry of Environment, Department of DIA, and also DNMM for further details. And then bullying, I think, yes, issue your registration. I think at this juncture, we do appreciate and understand, and my TAG and NSC members, some of them are here, Jaka Malepetule, Mbayua. We were just accepting registration deeds as it was before, saying the High Court one, because we knew this was a transition, and we trust in knowing the challenges that you all have. We knew it's going to take a bit of time, but we're expecting for this to be finalized before the end of the year. So for now, you can submit the registration as proof from your deeds or wherever, so Register of Societies or what, and then that letter to show that you are initiated from your end. From Captain Patsima, a welcome development. Thank you so much for pledging your support. We're looking forward to partnering with you as the Small Grants Program, because even our operational phase 6 strategy, which we will share, I think at the end of this meeting together with the presentations, we are looking into how we're supporting especially the communities at the grassroots levels, the rural communities. How are we supporting them to adopt 4IR? We know the community, everybody now, we've gone digital and everything else. But what are we saying, especially at that level? So through initiatives, we want to be able to now discuss further and dialogue in terms of, and be able to identify potential areas of partnerships going forward through this project and other initiatives that we are already implementing and all. Matebele, I think there was no question from her. And then we are taking note of the ones also on the chat. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Abby, for responding and giving clarity and also answering where there were questions. I don't know if there are any other members here who have still comments or questions. If there is none, we can move to the next item in the agenda, which is development of a winning project proposal. Again, we are back to Abigail to give us that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Malepetu. I promise this is the last time you are hearing from me. Because other people will be saying, okay, it's here again. So this is the last time. And for us to be able to take you through some of the pointers, for those who are busy developing the proposals at this juncture, you still have some time, though it's just a few days now. As compared to the other calls that we've been running as the Small Grants Program, this is the longest we have allocated, and I've been getting a lot of queries from my bosses. So why have you allocated this one 3 weeks? Mostly we just allocate just 2 weeks, but then realizing that this is a complex one, and it needs a whole lot of preparatory work to be done. So we then requested for us to be given that week extension, hoping that we will have to be able to make submission of good quality proposals on time. Which will be on the 29th by 12 noon. No late submissions will be accepted to that effect. How do we write winning proposals? I know most of you have submitted proposals to various entities, whether in the private sector, to the government, to the international organization. But each and every international organization or donor or entity have their own style of writing. They have their own style of requirements in terms of how do you unlock those resources from their entities. In terms of the proposal, it fits within the project cycle, just at the project initiation stage. The project proposal is a type of a business proposal. It delineates the objective of a proposal endeavor with the necessary steps. So as compared to where you are pitching for a job application, an interview, this will be the ones that speaks for you, because you won't be allowed to be in the room when there are two committees, the NSC and also the TEG, are adjudicating and committing and allocating resources. So we need to be able to ensure that we get it right at the proposal development. To this effect, already a proposal template is provided for by the Small Grants Program. So you don't need to think about or be innovative at this stage. Just try by all means to align and adhere to what has been provided. The proposal, in addition, it also identifies the objectives and approach or the methodology to accomplish the overall goal of the project, and also is more of a gateway or a vehicle for you to access our funding as the Small Grants Program, or even the NEF. They have their own proposal template, or even the other institutions that are offering financial support. In terms of the guidelines, first things first, we first need to do the data collection stage, which is where you collect the package associated with the call. For this one, there is the terms of references. These are all uploaded on the UNDP procurement notices website. We will provide the advert at the end of the meeting where you can, if you have not been able to access this, for you to access them. And then if there is a proposal template, before you can do anything, at least start by studying the terms of reference, or what do they require, and also study the template or the proposal template, and do a mini research whether your idea or what you are proposing, is it feasible or viable. And then you need to be able to study what the donor requirements are, and then you need to make sure that you are aligned to the strategic initiatives of the donor. If the donor, for example, in this case, this is a restricted call for the South-South Cooperation Innovative Program. So we are not accepting any other proposal outside that. So, and even you need to be able to now, with your proposal that you'll be submitting, ensure that you are aligned to what the request as per the terms of reference is. And then through your proposal, you need to be able to demonstrate the adoption of the 3 I's, that's what we call them: innovation, inclusion, leaving no one behind. I talked of the vulnerable groups that we are supporting at the Small Grants Program, which is the women, the youth, people living with disability, and also the SEN community. And then look into the last I, which is impact. We want for us to be able to support initiatives that will be impactful, will leave a mark, will be sustainable also in that nature. And then you also need to be also paying close attention to project sustainability. We don't want to be supporting initiatives that are only 2 years lifespan. We need to be able to support initiatives that can be through years and be impactful going forward. And then, like I've also mentioned, we want to be able to support, even through this project, we need to be able to have a business case for this project. Overall, we need to be having a business plan, which is what we are already working with the other partners to ensure that with the ongoing project, we have a business plan that is drafted for this project. In terms of your budget, do the realistic market research before you put up your numbers in the budget section. And then also pay heed to this. As per the standard operating procedures, only 5 to 15% can be budgeted for administrative or the running costs for the project. We don't support indirect costs like the overheads, such as staff salaries, the rent for the offices, the we can pay, the salaries we can't, and also allowances we can't, because we believe as institutions we are already existing. So with the seed funding that we are providing for the project, we are going to ensure that day-to-day running of the project. And then make sure that all sections of the template, the proposal template, are completed. Oftentimes we receive proposals that have gaps. I don't know whether that is for the NSC and the NSC to complete, or but before you submit, make sure that all the sections, there are 3 sections, A, B, and C, make sure that all the sections are completed fully. And then by all means, if you have seen the proposal template, there is more of a guide, questions provided as per all the sections. At least try to answer all the questions before you can be innovative and provide additional information. At least provide that bare minimal information and stick to the page numbering, because as per the requirements, we can only go up to 15 pages for the proposal, because we are receiving a lot of requests, so we cannot possibly be having 100 pages and all. And then the proposal becomes an integral part to the MOA once approved by the NSC, between SGP and the entity that proposal that has been floated at this juncture. There is detailed TORs, there's the proposal template, there's the assessment key, which is more of your marking key. Already before you submit, you can mark yourself. That very assessment key is what Malepetu and other colleagues, the NSC, the Tech Board Rekanalo, and Borembayu, they're using this to review and adjudicate each and every proposal that we receive. And then there is also the country program strategy that is provided in terms of what is the outlook for the country program. And also there is what we call the checklist. Before you make your submission, also mark yourself on this one. This is how it looks like, the checklist. You need to ensure that you're submitting a completed proposal template. Because of COVID nowadays, we don't even require for you to submit a printed copy. Just the soft copy sent to the procurement email is more than enough. And then the proof of registration, if we are an academic institution, we don't support the private ones, we support those which are established by an act of parliament, like UB, ORI is the UB, and then BUS, the BUAN, you have your B3, you have your NAPTEC, part of those. So don't take it that people know me, I'm KCS, people know me as a CSO, so I don't. Please make sure you submit your proof of registration. Even if you are UB, we know you are an academic institution established by an act of parliament, still provide that proof of registration, because this is one thing that you'll then be penalized for, especially at the compliance stage. And that means all the hard work that you have invested in developing that proposal, you won't even be reviewed on that. And then if there is any proof for funding, other proposals, you would even budget for the co-financing provided by other partners, not by the SGP resources. You provide for that. And then letter of support from other institutions, especially the government. We want for you to be able to submit letter of support from the government institutions. In this case, the technical advisory committee through the Department of Office Yahamala, the DC's office in the sub-district, is what you can then submit as a letter of support. And also in most cases, we have cases where people are requesting resources for the communities, but the communities don't know that these people are requesting resources on their behalf. So if you are Quorum Council making the submission, please get a letter of support. This will also add points for you to show where you have made already the groundwork has been done. You have consulted with the beneficiaries who is the Zero community. So provide that letter of support from Hosi to say, I know of this project that we are working on in partnership with this entity and we support it as it is. Okay, how do I go back? Great. Okay, great. And then the proposal guidelines. Now we are going through the proposal itself. Like I said, ensure that you don't exceed the 15 pages for the whole proposal. That means we need to be precise with what we are putting in every section so that we reduce having a bulky document. And then the proposal, it goes without saying, we don't accept handwritten ones, because some of us have this doctor's handwriting, which other people will not be able to read. So by all means, let's make sure that our proposals are always in type form. And then additional documents like what you have requested for your registration, proof of registration, letter of support, provide them. Also, they form part of the proposal that you'll be submitting. And then please ensure that you adhere to the proposal template and then submit for now, you don't need to even submit the hard copy, just the soft copy is more than enough. And then please bear this in mind, the proposal won't be returned back to you. So just keep a copy for yourself. For those who have not been able to appreciate our proposal template as it is, it has 3 sections, like I said. The section 1, it talks about the project rationale, answering the 5 W's: why, what, how, when, and who. So that we are discussing today is more of a given, because the activities are already provided, the goal of the project is provided. So for you is now to bring in the meat and to beef it up, all the sections that you need. And this is how the section looks. And then now moving on to section B, which is now the risk section and the monitoring and evaluation. We need to be able to provide how and be able to identify risk and how we are going to be able to mitigate and manage the risk so that the project we are able to implement it on time and on schedule and or within the budget. And then how are we going to ensure we monitor the project when we are implementing it, before, during, and after. And then we need to be able to ensure that the most critical part of the budget, which is why you are even submitting the proposal in the first place, this needs to be clear, aligning to the SOPs or the standard operating procedures for the program, that only 15% can be allocated for the administrative budget. We don't support salaries, we don't support allowances, office rent. Let's try by all means to ensure that any other related costs that will enable you to deliver a successful project we clearly budget for. And then in terms of the implementation plan, this is how it usually the project outcome. These are already given in this case, the baseline or the result, the indicators. Key project activities are already provided, implementing partners, the timelines or the duration when and what will be happening when, the budget for every activity. And this will be the tool that we are using to monitor even the project when we are implementing it. And then the monitoring and evaluation plan and indicators, this is how it looks. It outlines and measurable indicators. This is in line with our CPS. So before you can even put up this section, complete all these sections, be able to look at for reference from our CPS. And then the budget, this is how it looks like. We only provide the directly related the cost to the project, no oversights or the indirect costs associated with the project. Let's try by all means to do a realistic budget. Let's not just be in the office and say, okay, for us to travel from here to Gere, the fuel that we will need, no, it's just 50 kilometers. Some of us I didn't even know about Gere up until 2017 when we received a proposal from them. So we need to be able to do a realistic budgeting in terms of, okay, for us to be able to travel from here to Gere, this is what we will require. Is there accommodation in Gere, which is the nearest place, is Reikops. So that means for one to be able to find an adequate accommodation, one will be able to lodge in Reikops, and at least do a telephonic market research to see, Gere Motel, how much are you charging per night, so that then when you are doing your budget, you put up realistic numbers in there. And also, what most important, budget for the knowledge management and also for the monitoring of the project. This is just a sample of the budget, and at the end, thank you so much. Back to you, our chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Abby, again for such an elaborative presentation. I know it's loaded, but quite clear if you follow up. But I'll also maybe just quickly allow for questions from the members. Any questions for clarity? We can raise our hand. If I don't see the hand, I believe Abby, you can see it.
Nothing yet, ma'am.
Or we are okay, but everything is clear. Okay, I think if there is none, we can now believe over this session, especially this presentation was quite clear then. And we can move on to our next item, which is the closing remarks by Mayor Tsosoloso Matale, who's from the Department of Environmental Affairs. Mama Matale, I think you can go ahead and give us closing remarks.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good morning to everyone. I've already been introduced, Kibiria Tsosoloso Matale, once more, and my role has been shared with you. I'm here to do the closing remarks, and in my closing remarks, I would like to reiterate and emphasize the importance of partnerships. I'm happy that you people came in large numbers for this meeting. Your participation and attendance is a clear demonstration that partnerships are important for project implementation. And Mayor Abigail has shared with us that the importance of this session, and I think we have achieved just that, to clear the confusion on the call for proposals which is being flighted, which has been advertised. It is now in the second week. So And I want to believe that we have all gotten the necessary information that we came here for to get that cleared, that confusion. So she has already shared with us that this information session for call for proposals is important so that we can leverage on our so that we can use our synergies as partners. We are all here coming from different institutions. University of Botswana, the research institutions, we have government, we have UNDP, we have CSOs and others. So this session is important in that regard, that we are here to share ideas on how best to implement this initiative. The initiative is implemented by UNDP, and the resources are coming from Global Environment Facility through the Small Grants Program. And it is implemented on behalf of government through Department of Environmental Affairs and Department of National Museum and Monuments. And again, that it's a partnership with Namibia, South Africa, and Botswana is leading this initiative, this project. And what I want to emphasize is that this project or initiative is intended to drive the SDGs, so that as a country, we are able to report on our commitments on the sustainable development goals that have been highlighted, poverty eradication, hunger, reducing hunger, climate change, and others. As you know, that as a country, we have to report on our progress to the international community. So the project will form part of that report on driving the SDGs. And mind you, the SDGs are coming to an end in the next 9 years. So we should be able as a country to demonstrate what we have done so far in implementing the SDGs. And the purpose of this project is to improve lives and conserve the environment. Ms. Abigail has indicated that the project will be implemented in the Kere community. So it's a community-led project. And we are going to, as a country, demonstrate how community-led project can bring benefits for the country. Mayor Abigail has emphasized replication, that in Botswana, this project, we should be able to replicate it to other areas. And the importance of sharing knowledge, the skills and expertise and resources for the successful implementation of the project. She has also highlighted the importance, she has also indicated that the project is going to be a high impact project. And we should be able to scale up the project. The resources for Botswana alone is $65,000 US for the Kere community alone. And the activities have already been outlined, as already mentioned by Mayor Abigail, And why are they outlined? Why do we have them readily made for us, these activities, is so that the project can be focused on the goal. And we know the goal is to empower the San community to sustainably manage their environment and enhance their livelihoods and well-being. Again, she emphasized the importance of documentation on this project, that through the project we should be able to document. There's going to be a heritage center. I'm happy that some partners have already made their commitment to partner in this project, such as GoUB. By supile gore they are available for the cultural center, and also Mepatsimo usupile gore she's available. Her institution is available in the area of science, technology, and innovation. The chairperson has also raised an important point on natural resources, that can they be planted for sustainability. And I want to further her comment to say that we can even look into the possibility of ensuring that the benefits arising from the resources in that area are shared equitably. So issues of access and benefit sharing should not be left behind with this project. Mayor Abigail has also talked about winning proposals, that is talking to the CBOs who are the potential grantees, to say that they should comply with the requirements of the advert of the project in terms of innovation, inclusion, and impact, so that the goal of the project is realized. The project should not leave anyone behind. Let us involve all those people who are relevant, all the relevant institutions for the successful implementation of the project. Leaving no one behind is one of the ideas, the SDGs. It is enshrined in the SDGs. So let us involve all for project sustainability and successful implementation. And we should see projects, I want to emphasize that as well, as businesses, because projects have the potential to generate incomes for our communities. So as you develop your proposals, try to infuse the business acumen, as Abigail has already mentioned. Let us budget, let's have a realistic budgets for the projects. And before we can even budget, we should be able to do a market research to see what are the gaps, what needs to be done and improved for effective implementation of the project. And she rightly mentioned that we need to change the way we have been doing things, and especially in terms of budgeting, that we should reduce as much as possible the budget for administration fees, because most of the proposals that we receive, more small grants program, even global national environment fund and other funding mechanisms, we have realized where the proposal the budget, the administration fee, the salary, the office rentals and all that. That is not the intention of funding for projects. Re batla gore di tswele community kana the intended beneficiary molemo, and not for our own benefits. We are here to help communities and improve lives. So, and also she highlighted that it's important to align projects to the strategic initiatives. So we want to see proposals that are relevant in terms of those strategic initiatives and the goal of the project. With those few remarks, I would like to thank all partners for organizing this session and to say let us continue building back better together safely. And to the grantees, we encourage you to develop proposals that will be inclusive, innovative and impactful, and with great potential to be replicated and upscaled. And lastly, let us continue to adhere to all the COVID-19 protocols and be vigilant at all times. Re rwale di masks, social distancing, let's limit movement, comply, re tsene mo nakong ko malapeng ka nako e changile yanong ga sa tlhole le 10 o'clock ga re tsene ka 8 o'clock like we were doing before. So bagaetso, let us take heed of the protocols that have been laid out for us to follow. With those few remarks, once more I thank you all for attending this session. Ke a leboga.